Arthur gave me the code. What?
Easy. Bad idea.
You should go.
Right, now. What the fuck is that?
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Episode Breakdown. I'm your host, Oliver. The 7th episode of Alien Earth, titled Emergence, sees the various plots and tensions that have been simmering throughout the season finally boil over. It is an episode defined by failed escapes, shocking betrayals, traumatic deaths, and the harrowing emergence of new threats, setting the stage for a consequential season finale. If you haven't seen it yet, hit pause, go watch it, and then come back. This is your final warning. Major spoilers are incoming. The episode opens with slightly in a state of panic, staring at Arthur Sylvia, who lies comatose on the bed with a facehugger firmly attached to his face. In a childish and futile attempt to care for him, Slightly tries to give Arthur a drink, but this only causes the facehugger's tail to tighten around Arthur's throat in a defensive reaction. The situation escalates when Smee knocks on the door and demands to be let in. Upon entering, he is horrified to discover Arthur's condition and accuses Slightly, yelling, "What did you do?"
What did you do?
After Slightly explained he is being blackmailed by the cyborg Morrow to deliver a specimen, Smee, embodying the loyalty of a true friend, agrees to help move Arthur to the beach for the exchange. A desperate Slightly pleads with Smee, explaining that he is being blackmailed by the cyborg Morrow to deliver a specimen, has threatened his family, and that he was promised Arthur would be safe once the monster was delivered. Believing Slightly's assurances that no harm will come to Arthur, a reluctant Smee agrees to help smuggle the unconscious scientist out of the Prodigy compound and down to the beach for the rendezvous with Morrow. Inside the lab, Boy Cavalier becomes obsessed with a new intellectual pursuit, largely ignoring the larger crisis. Boy Cavalier's attention is consumed by his newest obsession, the Ocellus, or eyeball creature. Kirsch shows him security footage revealing that the creature, using the sheep as a host, intelligently caused Toodle's death by luring him into the fly chamber. Meanwhile, Wendy is reeling from the traumatic discovery of Toodle's melted remains in the lab. Her faith in Prodigy shatters, especially after she protested Cavalier, who coldly dismisses Toodle's death as a $6 billion loss. When soldiers try to prevent her from leaving the lab and telling the other hybrids, she demonstrates her growing connection to the aliens by communicating with the captive xenomorph. She lets out a chittering sound, and the creature responds by violently banging its head against the glass of its containment unit, forcing the soldiers to back down.
Please get out of my way.
Wendy reunites with her brother, Joe, or Hermit, who pleads with her to escape the island immediately. However, Wendy refuses to leave without the other Lost Boys. They first approach Nibs and Curly. Nibs, distrustful of Prodigy after realizing her memory was wiped, agrees to join him. Curly, however, remains fully indoctrinated, telling Wendy, "This is the best place I've ever been." She promises not to reveal their plan, but chooses to stay behind. In a defining act of rebellion, Wendy uses her unique abilities to hack the computer systems and unlock the Xenomorph's cage, unleashing it upon the Prodigy lab, where it proceeds to slaughter the scientists inside. The episode also brings a cold war between the synthetic Kirsch and the cyborg Morrow to a head. Unbeknownst to Slightly and Smee, Kirsch has been aware of their plan from the start. He even intercepts them in the hallway, not to arrest them, but to give them access to an elevator and encourage them to hurry, stating, "You're going to be late." He is using them as bait.
What are you doing going that way? The quickest way to the beach is to take the secure elevator. You're gonna be late.
During their escape into the jungle, Wendy, Joe, and Niv stumble upon a graveyard with 6 headstones, each bearing the human names of the children whose consciousnesses now inhabit the hybrid bodies. This is a sobering moment that forces them to confront the truth of their existence. Their original human bodies are dead and buried. Nib somberly accepts this, while Wendy becomes more resolute, insisting, "This is not us." This discovery further severs her connection to her humanity.
It's not us. We're still here. I don't think I am anymore.
Journey Through the Jungle is a darkly comic and tragic sequence, with the 2 hybrids clumsily dragging their father figure's body, reminiscent of a grim Weekend at Bernie's. The journey is fraught with tension. At one point, they are forced to hide Arthur's body in the grass to avoid a Prodigy patrol. When they retrieve him, the facehugger suddenly falls dead from a tree, and a disoriented Arthur stumbles out of the bushes, awake but with no memory of the events since Toodle's disappearance. In a heartbreaking moment, Arthur perceives the boys are scared and lying to him. He empathetically tells them, "You don't need to do whatever you're up to. I'll help you because I love you." His compassion makes what happens next even more brutal. As they stand on the beach, Arthur collapses and a chestburster erupts from his torso, killing him instantly, before scurrying off into the jungle. Smee is left grieving over Arthur's body, screaming at Slightly for his betrayal, while the panicked Slightly can only focus on fulfilling his mission by dragging the hollowed-out corpse to the meeting point. Smee and Slightly eventually meet Morrow and his Weyland-Yutani team on the beach. Morrow is furious that they have arrived with a corpse and no alien specimen. He takes the two hybrids hostage and leads his team toward the Prodigy facility, intending to acquire the specimens by force.
Target 1 failed. Moving to target 2.
Fascinated, Cavalier has their creature moved to his office for a private audience. In one of the episode's most unnerving scenes, Cavalier decides to test the creature's intelligence. He shows it the numbers 3.14 and asks for the next 3 digits of file. To his utter delight, the sheep, controlled by the eyeball, uses its hooves and defecates to correctly count out 159. Ecstatic at finding an intellectual equal, Cavalier proclaims, "If only you could talk," and immediately devises a horrifying plan. He orders Adamines to find the human test subject with a low IQ so they can implant the ocellus and properly measure the increase in its intellectual capabilities. Adamines agrees to start a list, concerned about the clear containment risks.
Yeah, we should switch it into a person. You know, someone with a low IQ so that we can see the difference.
When the trio is late in the jungle, Wendy, Joe, and Nibs are ambushed by a secondary Weyland-Yutani strike team, Wendy doesn't flinch. She communicates with the xenomorph she freed, which descends from the trees and brutally dispatches the soldiers. In a stunning display of control, Wendy then approaches the creature, calms it, and gently pets it, telling it to hide and follow.
What did you say to it?
Hide and follow.
Way back to the Prodigy facility, Prodigy security forces ambush and capture Morrow's entire team without a fight. However, this was all part of Kirsch's trap. As Morrow is taken prisoner, he snarls at Kirsch, "This isn't over." Kirsch responds with a chilling Dr. Manhattan-esque retort, "Nothing ever is." With Morrow in custody, Kirsch simply tells Slightly and Smee that they are grounded.
This isn't over.
Nothing ever is.
The episode's climax occurs at the dock. The group's escape attempt reaches its dramatic and violent conclusion at the island's dock, where Wendy, Joe, and Nibs believe their escape is within reach. However, they are ambushed by Prodigy soldiers led by Siberian and Rashidi, who had been warned about Hermit's escape plan. Tensions explode when a soldier mockingly throws a Nibs stuffed toy, Mr. Strawberry, into the water. Enraged, Nibs unleashes her hybrid strength, ripping the soldier's jaw clean off. A violent melee ensues. When Nibs is on the verge of crushing Siberian's skull, Jor Hermit is forced to make an impossible choice. To de-escalate the situation and prevent further bloodshed, he grabs a Prodigy energy weapon and shoots Nibs, electrocuting her. She collapses to the ground, twitching and lying still. A horrified and betrayed Wendy screams at her brother, "What did you do?" The episode ends on this note of profound fracture, with Wendy staring at Joe in anger and the xenomorph watching the entire scene from the shadows, waiting for its next command.
What did you do?
This chapter expertly sets the stage for a finale by putting its characters through profound transformations. A loss of innocence occurs as traumatic events force the central figures to confront severe violence and guilt, irrevocably ending their childhood. This trauma sparks a core identity crisis, forcing them to question whether they are truly human or something else. This leads to a shocking rejection of humanity, with one character forming a bond with the very alien force others feared. A move that subverts a classic dynamic of the creature from a mindless predator to a potential ally. In contrast, another character embodies a moral corporate greed, viewing all life as expendable test subjects and escalating the threat with a terrifying new plan. Are you more invested in the philosophical questions it raises about what it means to be human? Or are you all about the action and the narrative twists, like Wendy's new pet and how the heck the crew gets out of this alive? Let me know in the comments below. What do you think of Joe's impossible choice? Was there any other path for him? Thanks for watching this breakdown. If you love this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss our next one. Until next time,